Alright gentlemen, this is going to be one of the weirdest places you'll ever see a personal development or a self-improvement video, but I couldn't find anywhere quiet where I was living, and this is the quietest place I could find. You might have a couple cars drive past, but this one couldn't wait. And it's going to be on how personal development and self-improvement is so fucking hard, and the one mistake that stopped me seeing progression so much quicker than I should have. I should have made progress so much fucking quicker because of this one mistake. But I didn't, because of this one mistake that I kept making over and over and over again. And I refuse to let that happen to you. But first, let's talk about why self-improvement, why personal development is so fucking damn confusing. Why it's so difficult, why it's so hard. Because I get it. It is hard. It is difficult. But after 2 years of going through it, of going through highs and lows, going through the shit, right? I'm still going through the shit. It's still difficult. Developing yourself is fucking hard. Improving yourself is fucking hard. When no one else around you wants to do the same thing. And that is why it is so hard. Because it gets lonely. You feel lost. You feel confused. On the days where you feel like nothing is going your way, everything's against you, the world is against you, that is when you'll see real progress. That is one of the reasons. And the other one reason is by not making the same mistake I did, but we'll get to that. But the reason it feels so confusing is because no one else around you wants to do the exact same thing. No one else around you has the same goals, has the same dreams, has the same ambitions as you. I don't care if you're 20, if you're 30, if you're just starting out on all of this. It doesn't matter your age. Shit still rings the same. It is fucking hard. You're going to feel lost. You're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel like you're drowning with nowhere to look. You don't know what to do, how to do something. Doesn't matter if you're trying to build your physique, right? The reason it's so hard is because of the level of standards that you have around yourself and that you hold for yourself at this point, right? Because you're not the man worthy. You're not the man worthy yet of the thing that you're going through right now to be easy. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Building a physique is not that fucking difficult. 4 times per week, 45 to 60 minutes. That's all I have my clients on, right? That's it. But the reason we think it's hard is because of the standards of everyone else around us. No one cares about shit like that. No one cares about looking good, about taking care of their health, about taking care of their mind, about disciplining themselves anymore. And it's bullshit, right? And you know it. You have to know in here, deep down, that you're allowed to give yourself permission to develop yourself for those around you, to improve yourself every single solitary fucking day. And the moment that you do that is when you'll start to see actual progress as well. Another reason that you actually start to see progress, when you truly give yourself the permission to go all in and not go back, that is when you'll start to see progression. But the one thing that held me back, and it ties in to the level of standards of yourself, behind yourself, with the people you surround yourself with, really comes down to this one costly mistake. And that is rewarding yourself with the old vices that you used to have. You cannot let yourself slip back to that old standard. Because if you constantly reward yourself with the old crap that you used to do, you're never going to shift your identity. You're never going to take that leap. And I get it. It feels uncomfortable. It feels difficult. It feels hard because of the standard around you. That's why it's so lonely. That's why it's so difficult for you. That's why it's still difficult for me. Because it's so much easier to go back to the comfort of what everyone else around you is doing. So much easier to make that choice right now. So much easier to make that choice in your own head right now. But the moment that you start finding reward within the work, reward within doing small shit that's going to continue to progress you, the moment that you find reward in doing simple shit like reading books, like journaling, right? When you feel lost, when you feel confused, what is the standard that you hold for yourself? That is when you need to win. Those are the moments you need to find something to make progress in that's going to progress you instead of regress you back to your old standards. That is it, right? Because I made the same mistake. I would give up drinking for 3 months, give up drugs for 3 months, and then I'd just go reward myself with a massive blowout. And right, that wouldn't affect me physically, right? But mentally, in here, it's affecting you. It's ruining you, and you know it, right? That could be as simple. You could have a fucking good week, a fucking good day, a fucking good workout, but then you go reward yourself with crap, with a crap piece of food, with scrolling on your phone later that night, right? And then you just fall back into this old standard that you have of yourself when you know if you just rewarded yourself after your workout with a good bit of food, then suddenly you go to sleep early, and suddenly you have energy, and then suddenly you show up to work early, and then suddenly you're progressing in your career, and then suddenly you're making all this progress just because you made one different decision. Instead of going back to your old standard, instead of going back to your old vices, instead of scrolling on your phone, instead of drinking that weekend, instead of having a fucking good week at work, instead of having a fucking good week of working out, and then ruining it on the weekend. If you could just win those moments and find progression, find a skill, find a hobby that you can work towards. Right now, I picked up boxing over here in Bali because I know I never want to fall back to that level of standard, right? Find reward within the work. That is when progression will really come. Because once you understand that it all works in one massive ecosystem, you work out, you fuel yourself, then suddenly you're up early, you feel good, and instead of scrolling on your phone when you wake up, instead of snoozing that alarm, you wake up, you hit a quick morning routine, like I do, 50 push-ups, cold plunge, walk, journal, right? You're constantly producing results for yourself. The moment that you choose production over consumption, right? It's always the shit crap that you choose to consume. Scrolling on your phone, choosing Netflix, right? That's ruining your progress. Because if you can channel your dopamine to find reward within the work, it doesn't have to be working all the time. You can find something that you enjoy as a hobby that's going to progress you anyway. That's not just the work, right? Join a run club. Join whatever it is that you enjoy. Join something that's still going to progress you. Find groups, find people, right? Journal, meditate, read. Simple shit that you can replace with the shit that you're doing right now. That is when progression will actually happen. I promise you. Because I guarantee you, I could have made progress so much fucking quicker if I didn't slip up every 3 months. Go back to the old vices. Reward myself with the old shit that I used to have. That I used to do. The old habits. The level of standard of those around me. If you don't slip back to that level, I promise you, that is when you'll see real fucking progression. When you're choosing to read, when you're choosing to meditate, when you're choosing to journal, on top of working out, on top of eating right, on top of training your mindset, on top of training your habits, on top of disciplining yourself, on top of the work, whatever it is that you're trying to progress in right now, that is when you'll see the progression. Because if you can constantly reward yourself with doing something difficult, with doing something hard, that will train your dopamine receptors in here. In here, in your own mind, that is what you do now. That is where you find progress. Because the work instills the worth. I don't care what it is. whenever you feel lost, whenever you feel confused, whenever you feel fucking alone, just make sure that you do not slip back to the old standards that you used to have of yourself. And that is when you'll see progression. Sleep, do anything possible not to give back to the old vices that you used to have, because that is just telling your mind over and over again that that is still the identity that you have, and we're trying to create a new one. You're trying to become a new person. You're trying to develop yourself every single solitary day. And when you do that, and you do not miss a day, and you do not fucking skip, you implement a simple morning routine, you implement your mindset, your habits, your training, your nutrition, and improve yourself every single solitary day without going back to your old standards, you will progress so much damn quicker, because it's exactly what's holding you back. When you feel lost, when you feel confused, when it's fucking difficult, what is the standard that you hold for yourself? It's the question that I ask for you, and I beg to you, do not make the same fucking mistake that I did. I don't care if you're 20, I don't care if you're 30. Hold yourself to that higher standard that you know you're capable of. And I promise you, that is when you'll progress. That is when every single solitary thing will change for you. You will skyrocket your progression. So please, for the love of God, do not make the same mistake I did. And always remember, you're allowed to go all in on whatever it is that you want to go all in on. You're allowed to build your physique. You're allowed to build your mind. You're allowed to build your habits. You're allowed to build your discipline. You're allowed to be different. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to want change. You're allowed to want to be better. It's okay. Stop letting other people dictate your own decisions. Stop letting their standards fuck you up. Stop letting your own standards fuck you up. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Like, subscribe.